Hey everybody, this is Unit 1, Formative 1, Video 7 on distributive property. Alright, distributive property just says that if we have a number outside parentheses, we're going to multiply it by both things in the parentheses. So we get A times B plus A times C. Remember, letters next to each other means we multiply. Another way to look at the distributive property is if it's subtraction. So A parentheses B minus C, it'd just be A times B minus A times C. And something to keep in mind is that we can flip the distributive property around to actually look like this, and it's still the same thing. So A times B minus A times C would be the exact same thing. A couple examples here. So in this first example, we have 2 times x, so 2x, and then 2 times 4, so plus 8. You could also write it out like this first if you wanted to. 2x plus 2 times 4, and then have this as your final answer. Okay, number 2, we're going to take a negative 3 on the outside, multiply it by 2x, so we get negative 6x, and then a negative 3 and multiply it by a negative 4. Or if you want to just say minus negative 3 times 4, you get minus negative 12. Well, remember what happens there, we get plus, so really this is just negative 6x plus 12. It's just a lot easier if you think negative 3 times negative 4, though. Or you could even change this plus sign to plus the opposite, which would be negative 4 there. Alright, did you know that a newborn kangaroo is small enough to fit in a teaspoon? It's pretty small. Alright, this next one here, we have negative 4 times negative 3x, so that gives me a positive 12x. And like I said before, you could change this to a plus sign and then a negative 2y. So we have negative 4 times negative 2y gives you a positive 8y. Okay? Remember, another way to write this original problem could have been negative 3x minus 2y. And then we could have actually put the negative 4 on this side. We would have still distributed and got the exact same thing if it looks like that. Okay, number 2 here, we have 5 times 2x gives me 10x, and 5 times negative 3y gives me negative 15y, or you could have said plus negative 3y like that. Okay. Something to keep in mind for number 3 here is if we just have a negative sign, it means that we have a negative 1 out front. So it's like negative 1 times 2x gives me negative 2x, and negative 1 times y gives me negative 1y. Okay? And I put the plus sign there because that plus sign came from right there. So if I wanted to write this as negative 2x minus 1y, I would be fine with that as well. Either one of these two answers would be okay for number 3. Alright, this next part is where we're going to distribute and combine like terms. So there are 2 steps here. So first we're going to distribute this part, and then we're going to distribute in this part. So 2 times x gives me 2x. 2 times 3y gives me 6y. Then we're just going to plus, that's where this plus sign comes from. 3 times 4x gives me 12x. And then 3 times 2y gives me 6y. And now I'm just going to combine my like terms. So 2x and 12x are my like terms. Okay, so that gives me 14x's. And then we also have 6y and 6y to give me 12y. So here would be my answer after distributing and combining like terms. Okay, let's do like that. Alright, so we want to distribute first. So we have 2 times x gives me 2x. Remember, this would be like plus negative 4y. Okay, so 2 times negative 4y gives me plus a negative 8y. Right, when I have minus 3 here, it's the same as plus a negative 3 times everything in this parentheses. So I would suggest changing that minus sign to a plus, the opposite. Okay, so that means that I have now plus negative 3 times 2x gives me negative 6x. And then remember, this is a plus a negative 2y. So negative 3 times negative 2y gives me plus 6y. Alright, now I combine my like terms. So my x's are like terms, remember. So 2 plus negative 6 is negative 4x. And then we also have like terms of negative 8y and 6y. So plus negative 2y. And there would be your answer. Okay, after you distribute and then combine your like terms. All right, and that is it for distributive property of combining like terms and please do not forget to go back to my website and take your quiz. We will see you later.